Robin Ayub from the Localization Fireside Chat, and I want to welcome you all to another episode. We're recording today, episode number 72, and I'm happy to have with me Dareen MuKhaimer. Dareen is the head of e-Arabization, a company that is based in Dubai. I guess Dareen is based in Dubai, and it's my privilege and distinct honor to be interviewing the first time the e-Arabization and an Arab translation company from the Middle East, which for most of our audience knows that I am from the Middle East originally. It's been a while since I've been to the Middle East, but it is my absolute pleasure to be hosting Dareen MuKhaimer with me on the Localization Fireside Chat today. And I can't wait to get to know you, Dareen, get to know a little bit about e-Arabization, and let the audience know a little bit about you as well. So without any further ado, as we say on this channel, Dareen, everybody's got a story. And I can't wait to hear your localization story. How did you get started in the business? So for the audience who don't know you, if you don't mind telling us a little bit about yourself, your localization story, and how did it all start for you the floor is yours. The microphone is yours.
Thank you, Robin. And I'm really honored to be the first Arab person to be interviewed on your show. This is really good. This is really huge for us. So my localization story started back when I was 16. I actually wanted to study political science, but my father back then persuaded me to go into languages and translation. It was a big thing back then. And it was a new subject at some of the universities in Amman, Jordan, where I am originally from. So I said, okay, let's give it a try. So I joined a university in Amman, in Jordan, and I studied. I have a bachelor degree in translation, English Arabic translation. And then immediately after I finished, I thought, I mean, it's rather a new subject, and we were like the second or third graduates to graduate with a specialization in translation in Jordan. So I immediately flew to Leeds and I got my master's degree in English Arabic translation as well from the University of Leeds. Came back to Jordan despite my father insisting that, okay, why don't you just finish your PhD? You're there, just. But I thought that's enough studying, enough research, enough exams. So I went back to Jordan and I joined the company, and I was it was just, I mean, I was just looking for something that, a job that is actually, that has to deal with English Arabic translation. So I joined a Qatari company back then. They had an office in Jordan, and I started off as a junior translator, and it was a big thing for me because the project that we were working on was for SAP. So SAP was back then localizing into Arabic, and I was lucky to be amongst the first translators to be in that project. And it was a big thing for me because I just specialized in translation, but that was like software translation, ERPs, stuff like big names and abbreviations that I knew nothing about. And I kept going back and forth to SAP, to Waldorf, and then started off as a junior translator, then became the head of translation and marketing at that company. Then I decided that enough. I mean, I want to start my own company. I want to do because they were happy with the project that they had with SAP, and there was a lot of opportunities, and I wanted to explore them. So I started off I started e-Arabization back in 2007 in a small office above a shoe market in Amman. It was a one room. So I was the accountant, translator, office boy, everything. And I started off with few projects, international projects, and I was into the CAT tools back then. It was a new thing as well in my region. And then I started expanding, hiring people little by little, and then I mean, here we are, 2024. I moved the headquarters to Dubai, And we have an office, of course, in Amman. We have an office in Riyadh, KSA, and we have a team in Egypt. So, and now we are more than 400 linguists working together on localization projects and subtitling
Wow,
projects.
Dareen, congratulations! What a journey! I'm so proud of you and the work that you've done and the growth that you've seen and the persistency and the
Oh,
seeing an opportunity in seizing that opportunity. I guess that's not a something strange for us who comes from the Middle East when it comes to identifying opportunities, and it comes in our. I
oh
think
yeah.
it's in our DNA. I'm assuming.
Oh yeah.
So what's now? You have like several offices around the Middle East. Who do you work with? What kind of market do you serve? What kind of services do you provide?
So basically, we have different departments. Our biggest department is the e-commerce localization department. We work with names like Amazon, like Noon, like Landmark Group. We have Emaar Group in Dubai, which holds under its umbrella the Dubai Mall, which holds
Yep,
all these brands. We have a subtitling department. Also, we work with Netflix, with Disney, with third parties. We also have a big education department. We work with projects that some of them are UN-based projects, localizing curricula into Arabic for refugees, and some other projects as well. So different types, but our biggest department is the e-commerce department, followed by the subtitling one.
okay. And you serve customers in the Middle East only, or you're more of a global footprint?
Well, actually, since our focus is Arabization, we mainly we do all languages, but we focus on translation between English and Arabic, and thus
Okay.
our major clients are in the Middle East. But specifically, all our clients are in the GCC region. United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait, and Bahrain.
Hmm.
But we also serve international clients as well, who wish to translate
Of
into
course.
Arabic. Governmental sectors in the US, Amazon, of course. But our focus is into between English
Mm,
and Arabic translation. So at the end of the day, we have a lot of clients in the GCC.
absolutely. And now I can't help but to ask the question for those aspiring to be an entrepreneur in this
Wow.
industry, and you set an example for this. It sounds like, it's my first time meeting you, but hearing your story, I can't help by thinking, how did you? What's your advice for either people who are running their own business in our industry or aspiring to run their own business in our industry? Um, what is the lesson that you've learned through your journey that you can pass on to others?
I mean, well, first of all, our time is different. I started off back in 2007, my own business. Things have changed with AI and technology and all. As we said, persistence, patience. There's going to be a lot of rejections, and don't be. I mean, I would say, don't be afraid of change. Embrace the change that we are witnessing, AI in specific right now. There's a lot of competition, but I think quality stands and quality always lasts. And especially in our region, quality, integrity, and having holding. Having good relations with the client is something that we are very well known for, and sometimes you have to have these personal connections with your clients. Meet their expectations, meet their requirements. So the competition is high, but with patience, with high quality, actually presenting something that is a little bit unique, that is giving something to the audience that um, they haven't gotten from other clients. I mean, researching what does the market need. These are basically the things that they have to do right now.
And one of the first when you started talking about how you started your business, you were almost like a Swiss Army knife. You did everything.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I guess that would be the characteristic number one for an entrepreneur,
Oh
right?
yeah.
You got to be ready to
Absolutely.
do everything.
Oh Yes, absolutely. Be ready to do anything. I mean, I always said, I mean, whenever I meet a client or a prospect client, whatever they would say, I am like, okay, yeah, we can do it. I can do it. We can do it. And I mean by that, I can do it because I had no team with me. And then we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Just go back to your small office and just figure it out. And I'm sure, I mean, I always believe if you want to figure something out and if you want something to work out, I mean, there is always a way. Just
One of the
be
things
really
our
passionate
industry
about
is
it.
faced with right now, in general, is everybody talks about it, is revenue. And
Mm.
we don't talk about revenue because we have many of it. We talk about revenue because we don't have enough of it.
Oh
And
yeah.
this is like throughout the 19,000 companies represented in our industry, right?
Oh,
So,
yeah, yeah.
one of the things is you draw my attention to, and it's over the years. I've been doing this like for 22 years here, and so over the years, I've noticed that larger companies that are a bit more established, the rate of growth is smaller than
Hmm.
an entrepreneur company. So if you peel the onion, as they say in English, peel the onion
Yeah.
and try to figure out why is this happening, is exactly what you just said earlier. We'll figure it out. This is
Yep.
very, very, very important. The large companies have, I think, and I, with all due respect to all of them, I work for one of them. In a lot of cases, the figure out part, and some companies do it better than others. The entrepreneurial spirit that ignited that entire go getter kind of an environment in your spirit have dissipated. Especially if you have like 500,000-600,000 employees. I don't know how many people have now.
Yep.
It's less and less, because
Hmm.
what you have now is a prescripted process, a prescripted
True.
service that you're trying to sell,
Hmm.
versus asking the question, what would you like me to do? Give me some time and
Hmm.
I'll go get it done. And I think this is where your success came in, right, Dareen?
Yeah, and until now, I always tell my managers and the people working with me that we don't want to be that company that has these standards written and we just go by the book. So if the client says, okay, I want X and Y, but we would be like, oh no, but we do it like Y and Z. We're never going to be that company. We always have this open door policy, and we always have this. I mean, I always tell them, whenever you are with a client, just see what their requirements are, and we will meet them. I mean, we're not going to do that. I mean, and I know, and I work for big companies. It's You get lost with the process. You get absorbed with the process. I mean, and if you look at the as you say, if you peel the onion and if you look down the hierarchy, the junior managers or the project managers do not really care about the big picture anymore. So you just want to have the client happy. You just want to serve them. So I always tell them, just for my people working with me, just act as if it's your company.
Yeah.
Just sometimes you can take their decision. Just don't say that, oh, but we do it as so. We will always do it the client's way. And this is the only way to survive, actually. And this is the only way, actually, to have a high client retention rate
That's right.
as we actually do.
That's right. I mean, I want to mention here that years ago I worked for a big conglomerate and many companies. This individual owned many companies, and
Mm.
that was how I started in the localization business. And always, this gentleman used to tell me, treat it as if it was your own. Treat the
Oh,
company as if it was your own company. What would you do if that was your own company? How would you do it?
oh
And
yeah.
to a large conglomerate like this, it's very hard to imagine, owning something
Yeah,
at that level. But at least it instilled in me the thought process that says, you know what, I'm going to think about it. If it was my own, how do I deal with this?
Mhm,
And
mhm.
what would I do if I get a call like after 5 o'clock? Would I answer the phone? If it was my company, yes, I will answer my phone. Um,
Of course.
and that set a different type of behavior in me as well. So
Absolutely. And actually, this is why even my managers and the people who heads of departments and um, we have this open relation, and I always encourage them, and I say, I mean, as you said, always act as if it's your company, and I do that. I mean, I have my partner now in Dubai's office, Dania. She started off with me as a project manager, actually an editor and reviewer, but she's when you spot these unique people. And she started off as a reviewer, and I always encouraged her and say, okay, act as if it's your company. And I always encourage people and entrepreneurs to be generous and to be really, really, as if you expect people to be loyal and generous, and act as if it's their company. You gotta do that in return. So now she's a partner in the company. And it was one of the best decisions that I've made.
I
She has excellent relations with the clients. And now she I mean, sometimes I would be like more relaxed about the projects that we have than she is. Now she's more strict. She's more, and same applies to the head of subtitling, head of marketing. So I always believe in that, and I always believe justice. And you gotta, I mean, I started off from the bottom, so I know how it feels, and I know that with encouragement and making people feel relaxed and at home, they would give their best.
Absolutely. And I think Danya, the person I spoke to before I reached out to you, right?
No, actually, because people mix us up, because Dania and Dareen and Dania. So they send us emails by
That's how
mistake.
close you guys are. They mixed you
Oh
up.
yeah. But she forwarded it to me, and she said, "Oh, okay,
Okay.
that's for you. It's not me."
Okay. Okay. Good. Tell me a little bit more about the organization. What services do you offer?
All right. So basically, we're doing localization, translation, subtitling. Right now, we opened the content creation department. It's in huge demand, and of course, review and DTP services, but mainly localization, subtitling, and content creation.
Okay. And what drove you to do content creation in this day and age? I mean, it must be like, you must be seeing something that somebody else is not seeing. What is it?
Well, actually, yeah. I mean, let's face it, with the machine translation, with the AI and all that. I mean, I feel that, and I got it. It actually started off from I got the idea from the clients themselves. Some of them would come to me and say, "Okay, we have these keywords, or we have this idea, and we just want the content created in Arabic rather than they have to do it in English and then create it in Arabic." And so I said, yeah, it makes sense. They want some creative writing. They want some creative work. So I thought, okay. So and also in e-commerce, which is a big market, and there's a lot of repetitions, a lot of requests. So I thought, okay, we can do both. We can do creative content creation in Arabic, which
Mhm.
is, you cannot find that online. You cannot ask ChatGPT or machine translation or Google to give you a creative content till now, and for Arabic. And also we can use AI. So we are now collaborating with an IT company, and we have this cooperation and partnership where we work together. We give them the data, and they help us generate content. I mean, AI generated content, given the data that we have. So this is a big market, to be honest. Right now, it's a niche market, because creative content in Arabic is not available right now. And a lot of requests are coming from our clients in that field.
Absolutely. And do you have you seen the episode that I did with a company called We Are Very? It's part of Super Text.
Yeah, I think I saw part of it, and you were discussing the content
That's right.
creation, and it's new
Yeah, I think
translation.
those I think that team there would be good, good match for you to connect with.
Would love.
The individuals on the podcast. Their names
Yeah,
out there, and their LinkedIn
yeah, yeah.
profiles are included in the podcast, and
Hmm.
they saw the same thing you're seeing, but they
Hmm.
created it not in Arabic. They created it in other languages. Now their objective is to create content in similar idea in the target language, because there's a notion right now
Sure.
using AI down the road. I mean, one, nobody knows, I guess, and how technology is going to evolve and what else is going to happen. And we'll talk a little bit about AI and the impact of AI on your world as it is impacting everything else we touch in our lives. The question becomes: is do you still need the transformative part of our business. So localization is about transforming content, as you know, right? You take a content from one language, you transform it to another language. If you skip that step and you create content in the target language, do you still need to transform it? So that's the question, right? And
Yeah.
this is when I hear you coming up with the idea of content creation, which is music to my ears. And I actually I did when I did the interview with We Are Very and the team. Uh, Again, it's in the same direction. I think people are seeing the writing on the wall, right?
Yep.
The key talent for our industry is in the creative part. If we are going to use math and mathematics to transform content from one language to another, what we are good at is the creative part. So we have to find a business opportunity. Your thoughts?
Well, actually, yeah. I mean, first of all, are we going to call creating content in creating content from scratch transformative? Transforming it, I think I would rather call it creating it.
Creating it.
It's a totally
Correct.
different thing. Um, it's it's really interesting. It's something I would say, though it has to do with language industry and all, but it's a different process than localization. It needs different kind of people, different kind of teams, different kind of individuals, especially if you're looking for creative content in the target language. I think this is going to be the next it for the localization industry, but again, it's going to be with the big influence of AI, whether we like it or not. I mean, right now it's I see, and we've been researching a lot of content creation companies that are using AI. They are not there as yet, and I'm talking about Arabic. But they will be there. I mean, there will be there in terms of the good content, not necessarily super creative content. So we want to take advantage of the fact that it's a new thing. We want to take advantage of and we want to always, as we always do, we want to provide good quality, good content, good quality. And we have a problem with Arabic, actually. There's not a lot of online content for Arabic, though we have 21 countries speaking the language, and hundreds of millions of people speaking the language, but the actual content online is not that high, and the quality of the content, the Arabic content, is not very good. And I mean, I'm sorry to say that, but we need to work on making it better, making the content better, making the Arabic formal content better. So we want to take part of it. We want to be an active members in creating such content. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's like it's a learning process because everything else that we're doing in life, specifically now with the technology that we have available to us, we still haven't really, I think, as an industry, wrapped our arms clearly around the potential of the technology, the do's and don'ts. Where can you use it? Where can you not use it?
Yep.
People still experimenting with it. But one of the things that you brought up, which is very interesting, Dareen, is the amount of content associated with the Arabic language online,
Yeah.
and the unfortunate that we don't have enough content representing the demographic that and we're seeing that across a variety of other languages too, like sub-Saharan languages, etc. There are some other minority languages that they're not well represented on the internet now in terms of content. Now, one of the question becomes that every other demographic is dealing with is the preservation of the language. So is there, and you mentioned earlier, there's like some 20 countries that they speak the language, the Arabic language. Are you aware? Can you talk a little bit to the initiatives that these countries are putting in place, if there is any, to preserve the Arabic language, to promote it, to make sure that the young generation doesn't drift to another language or learn another language and maintain their mother tongue, kind of thing? So.
Well, actually, there's the we call it the مجمع اللغة العربية, the Arabic Language League, that is this is the official responsible body for preserving Arabic language. But we have a problem with the Arabic language since, as I said, we have 21 or 22 Arabic speaking countries. So we have 22 different dialects. And though there is one formal Arabic, a modern standard Arabic, there are differences and different dialects, different localization, specific terminology amongst these countries. So it's hard to unify them. It's hard to have them right now with I mean, anyone can publish anything online, but so I cannot say that there is I mean, there are some initiatives, some regional initiatives in Morocco, in Levant and the GCC. There are, I can see lately some efforts from some governmental ministries in Qatar specifically to maintain the Arabic language.
Yeah.
But they stay a little bit humble. We cannot see really actual results reflecting on the content online. Like, I mean, we only have the Arabic content does not exceed more than 3% of the content, online content.
Wow.
So this is, and we're talking about, I don't know what's the actually the population of the Arab world, but it's like hundreds of millions.
Of
So
course.
this does
Of
not
course.
reflect the amount of people speaking it. So there are some initiatives. I think nowadays, I mean, countries are starting to realize more, especially with the advancement of AI.
Sure.
If you can see, even with machine translation and AI, Arabic is really behind, which can be a good thing for localization companies. But again, Arabic is really behind other languages in terms of advancement in machine translation, and this is basically because of the lack of Arabic content online.
That's right.
So I mean, there, as I said, there are some bodies
Yeah.
working, official bodies working on that. We have like some
So you
official.
mentioned the dialect. So Dareen, dialects are very important too in terms of communicating to local demographics. Being from Lebanon, for instance, when I was a kid, I would have probably had a hard time understanding somebody who speaks Arabic from Libya, for instance, or Morocco for instance, right? This is just on the local
Yeah.
level. Now, if I was
True.
let's take a look at the companies from outside the region who wants to do business in the region. Let's say I'm a consumer product manufacturer. I would like to sell to the Middle East, to the Arabic speaking countries. So, what is the process to localize, and what do you localize to? Do you localize to the 21 dialect? Do you localize to one, formal Arabic? How would you advise on this one?
Well, actually, I mean, there is some funny stories about that, because we get some requests from clients, I mean, who do not understand Arabic or have, I mean, never been to the region or do not understand the region,
Sure.
and they would say that, okay, we want you to translate into Arabic, and we want you to translate into like 20 dialects. And it's for us like, oh my God, it's more or less the same. So we gotta, I mean, we always tell the client, I mean, you don't have to do that. So, well, we officially do modern standard Arabic, which is the official Arabic that we understand amongst all of us, more or less. And this is actually the kind of content that we mostly get asked for to do, even in subtitling as well. We need some modern standard Arabic that all Arabic readers amongst Morocco or Levant or GCC can understand. So, but there are some differences. We do that if we are doing a localization project, if it has to do with software, with anything. There are some differences, but generally, what we offer, and we always, I mean, help the clients understand that you only need to translate into modern standard Arabic, which is the former Arabic. But now again, if you need to localize it for the GCC, we can play with the terminology, try to localize it and make it more specific to the GCC or specific to Egypt or the Morocco or Levant where we are. So yeah, it's more or less one modern standard Arabic, but sometimes we have to deal with some localization.
You got to make sure that it's tuned to the local dialect in some cases. I'm assuming, right?
Exactly.
I'm assuming
Absolutely.
marketing will
Absolutely.
fall into that, right?
Absolutely, yeah, also when we're doing software localization.
Okay.
I mean, if you're doing a system for HR, if you're doing something
Hmm.
governmental, some terminologies differ between one country and
Sure.
another. So we take that into consideration.
Absolutely. Now the question on the like, so okay, so we're doing the uh, customers are coming to you from locally or coming to you from abroad. Let's talk a little bit about how, and you saw a lot of success since 2007 till now. Like, I mean, this is crazy in terms of success, in terms of the numbers of employees you have. How are you doing your sales and marketing, and where are you doing your sales and marketing?
Well, to be frank, I mean, till let's say 2018, 2019, and I want to be so frank about it, I was doing the the majority of sales and marketing myself. But now I have a department for business development. The business development team is based in Dubai and Riyadh. We have team in Dubai and Riyadh, and but again, I'm super involved in that. And the reason that we have the team in the GCC rather than in Jordan or Egypt or is that actually our clients and the needs are actually in the GCC market. So now I have a nice team that I can depend on, more or less, to do the business development, marketing, and
And you still
sales.
have plenty of things to do, Dareen, right? Not just
Oh yes, yeah. I actually, yeah, I log in every day.
yeah,
So and sometimes I mean I try to interfere in some
yeah.
in some of the other departments, and I was like, oh, just give me something to do. No, I cannot say that I am involved in the day to day projects, but I oversee the whole process. I am always there in for if need is there to close any deal, to meet with clients. I always try to have this. I have a good relationship with with all of my clients on a personal level as well. I like to be involved. I like to understand if they have any concerns. And sometimes you would find me also, if there is a tight deadline, I would just roll up my sleeves and just get
Jump
into
into
it
it.
and try start.
A lot of times, because you started as an entrepreneur and you started from doing things yourself. A lot of times, I'm
Mhm.
assuming these things stays with you.
Yeah.
You try to elevate a
Oh
little
yeah.
bit away from that because your
True.
company's growing.
True.
You got
True.
multiple
Yeah. Still learning
responsibilities.
how. Yeah, I'm learning how to. It was difficult at the beginning, but now I'm learning how to delegate more of the tasks to other
So
team
tell me,
members.
your business, is it primarily like, how is the split between, do you work with LSPs? Is it directly with customers? How do you characterize your
Well,
business?
naturally I started off working 90% with LSPs, big LSPs, and then gradually my target was to reduce the percentage of LSPs we work with and increase the percentage of direct clients. So now we only work with, let's say, 99% we work with direct clients, only 1% we work with LSPs, and we now are only targeting direct
Oh,
clients.
absolutely. And this is, from to work with an LSP to get it started, I think it's an important thing to do, an important step. But as the business
True,
mature,
true,
I guess you want to
true.
reduce a
Absolutely.
layer of the, our industry sounds like it is. It almost sounds like a multi-tier marketing or multi-level marketing. Uh,
True.
you know, you,
True.
you take it from the customer, you give it to a larger LSP. That larger LSP gives it to another LSP. It's just
Exactly.
by the time it goes back to the customer, it's like it went through several steps.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I actually I'm thankful for the time that I spent working with
Of course.
LSPs. I learned a lot, and even when I started working with LSPs, I wanted to work with the large ones, and I think and I was successful with doing that. In doing so, so I only worked with international LSPs at the beginning, never with the regional
Hmm.
LSPs, and then I learned a lot, and it was a really an eye opener
Yeah.
for me. So I am thankful for that period of time.
And so let's talk a little bit about the industry in general. Like, are you involved like in the the initiatives, I guess, that goes on globally in our industry, like Gala, Loke World, and all these guys? Are you involved in them?
I was just in Dublin
Okay.
2 weeks ago, and before that, I was attending SlaterCon. At the beginning, to be honest with you, 5, 6 years ago, I was more active. I would attend the gala. I was even there during the Lisa time,
Oh wow.
if you remember. Yeah, so I used to attend each and every conference of these conferences, but for a while I didn't attend, and I was just focused on getting direct clients in the GCC. But then now I said, okay, I got to go back and just meet up with the old friends and see what's happening. I mean, I'm always trying to keep up with what's happening in the industry, but attending these conferences and before Eloc World, I attended SlaterCon. That was an amazing conference. Seriously,
Hmm.
kudos to Florian and the team. Amazing, excellent program, and that was
Yeah, I
really
interviewed Florian on the channel early on. Yeah, I
yeah. I
did a
saw that.
podcast with him.
He's
We used to work together back in the days. Uh, him and
at
yes,
CLS.
CLS, yeah.
And I worked with you guys. I mean, I was one of the Arabic providers, Arabic
Oh yeah.
translators. So, but
The
of
world
course, you
is
would
small.
never
The world
remember
is
me.
small, Dareen. The world is small.
Absolutely.
So tell me, let's talk a little bit about the future. So, okay,
Oh,
so where do you see your business going in the future, and what do you hope and desire for in terms of your company, in terms of your business? What's your wishful thinking down the road here?
of course, I would say I would always see my company going upwards, not downwards. But there are a lot of changes. We're trying to embrace the change, trying to take advantage of it, be part of it, and but not forget the human part and the creative part of it. We aim at being. We are one of the biggest Arabic localization providers in the region. We aim at being number one. We by expanding our pool of clients in the region. This is why we opened our office in Riyadh as well. There's a lot of opportunities there, and we are looking to see how it's going to go with the content creation. We want to be really good. One of the pioneer players for Arabic content creation in the region.
So, in thinking of that, how does how? And I know you alluded to it earlier. Maybe we'll dig a little deeper into it. How do you see um, artificial intelligence helping you or not helping you? I don't know where you stand on the topic, so trying to get your opinion on
Oh,
it.
I mean, even if I say I don't like it, it's. I mean, no, if it's there. It's inevitable. I mean, we are embracing it. It's affecting us positively and negatively. It's making life easier for some time. Sometimes, I mean, for big projects, for huge volumes of words that we sometimes work with, it's a good thing. So it makes life easier. It's tempting for the clients when we say that we can achieve such a million number of
Yep.
words in no time and just depend on minimal human interference. That's a good thing. However, for Arabic, as I said, it's not there yet. Arabic is really behind in AI and machine translation due to the lack of content. So this can be a good thing for us because we have a plenty of work to do, plenty of opportunities. So whether we like it or not, it's happening. It's advancing day by day. But right now we're trying to be play on both parts, take advantage of it, and take advantage of the lack of proper Arabic content
Well, I mean,
and provide us with.
the as the localization industry goes, and you studied linguistics, so you know the feeling that the more traditional way of doing localization, it's near and dear to everybody's heart. Now,
True.
the key with that is as the businesses grows, not just the business, the content, the amount of tasks that you need to do as an industry is growing exponentially, especially with Gen AI in the mix. Um, the question becomes: do you have enough staff? Can are universities graduating enough staff so we can supply the workforce so we can do the job, or do we rely a little bit more on technology plus human? Your thoughts?
Well, if I'm speaking about the Arab world, I think we are we are having enough staff, enough graduates. I can say that for I mean I've been around the Arab world and I've visited universities. We have partnerships with universities in Jordan and in the UAE as well. So there's a lot of people still interested in studying linguistics and translation, and a lot of graduates happening coming out. So we have enough people doing that. Not to mention Egypt.
Yeah.
I mean, Egypt, they have huge number of graduates on a quarterly basis. So we have enough human resources doing that.
Mhm.
Are we there yet in terms of technology? The Arab world is. Are we? Are Arabic speaking companies, are they keeping up with the with what's happening in the AI world? This is something we need to
Yep.
address. I talked with some AI companies and localization companies who have their own software as tools and AI tools. And whenever we mention Arabic, it's either or not on their list, or they are, I mean, not giving it a lot of
That's right.
attention. So
Yeah.
we have the human resources, but we don't have the adequate technology
So it's pretty much a human
found.
endeavor right now, the entire process.
Oh yes, true,
Yeah, because
true,
in the because I don't know, I mean, maybe you're right in terms of the drivers behind the technological advancement, right? So if you see,
absolutely.
like isolating the problem, right? So the if 80% of the problem sits in five top languages around the world, that would drive
Hmm.
a technological, I want to say, improvement or innovation. And if you're seeing, like you mentioned earlier, 3% is in the 3% of the content is in the Arabic language. You know, I don't like the fact that's only 3% of the content is in the Arabic language. It should be more, much
Hmm.
more. But is 3% enough to drive innovation in that space?
Yeah, but my vision and what I'm seeing around, I know we have some this instability in the region, but I think this can, I mean, hopefully this will end soon. But if you look at the region, generally speaking, especially the GCC, Saudi Arabia with its vision 2030, UAE, there's a lot of competition who wants to be number one, who wants to advance more, and all. So I see the future. There's a lot of opportunities for the Arab world. There's a lot of initiatives. There's a lot of projects, a lot of development projects happening. So with that, naturally, there's a lot of Arabic content that will naturally come up online.
Yeah.
So, and there's a lot of initiatives, a lot of entrepreneurship opportunities happening in the GCC for AI in specific. So if I would say maybe in the next 5 years, the situation won't be the same. So we are almost 500 million Arabic speaking people, and we only have 3%, around 3% of Arabic content,
We
I
need
would
to
say in
change
5 years. Yeah, and I think if things go as planned, and the development plans and the initiatives that's happening in the GCC in particular are going to see the light, I would be really optimistic for the future for the next five
Absolutely.
years.
Doreen, for those who don't know, is the Arabic language mandated in these 21 countries to be the official language of those countries, or in some cases they're
Oh yeah.
relaxed?
Oh no, no, it is the official language in all these countries. So in all these 21 or 22 countries, so it is the official language, and they all use official Arabic, which is the modern standard
Yep.
Arabic with differences in dialects. So yeah,
So
it
what
is. We're
happened
talking
if,
about.
sorry to ask the question, but what happened if I was, let's say, a bank or an insurance company working in Saudi Arabia, or working in Bahrain or Dubai, and
Mhm.
the language in that company, is it Arabic, or is it they could choose whatever they need it to be, if it's French or if it's English or whatever it is?
Well, the beauty about it is that you will need our services
Of course.
to do the no, but the beauty about it is that, I mean, most of the banks, big companies, multilingual companies that are based in the Middle East, they have bilingual content, especially banks, insurance companies in the GCC. Some countries, I know Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and I think UAE recently, the Arabic is the official language, and you translate from Arabic into English. But you can find content. I mean, even in Jordan, even in Egypt, whenever you go, you will not find any difficulty finding a bilingual content if you go to any of these big companies.
Okay. No, it's all interesting. I wish I had more time, Doreen. I'm enjoying this conversation so much that I would like to continue our dialogue together. I'd like to continue our conversation
Oh,
together, but unfortunately, we're running out of time. But I would love to extend the invitation for another session at a later date.
oh,
Maybe we'll schedule
sure.
something in the fall or something. We'll get a little bit more specific on Arabic translation. It's a subject that is near and dear to my heart by culture, by who I am, by where I am from. And the other part of it is I would like to educate the audience on the Arabic language localization that is tend to be a little forgotten. We continuously talk about every other language, but we rarely talk
Sure.
about the Arabic language localization. And it's so lovely to meet you today, and I'm so honored
Same
to
here.
have had the opportunity to talk to you. Um,
It was an absolute pleasure meeting you, Robin. I mean, it's I am, and again, I'm honored to be the first Arab
I
meeting
love that.
on your show.
This is the highlight for me. Any last words for our audience before we stop the recording?
I mean, just look up for e-Arabization. I mean, we're there providing our localization services between English and Arabic, between all languages and Arabic. Um, Arabic language is a really rich language. It's and the Arabic culture is a really rich culture, and I hope in the near future and in the coming years we will have more footprint on the online market and the and online
Absolutely.
footprint.
Thank you so much, Dareen. Appreciate it. To our audience, if you need to reach out to Dareen, MuKhaimer is on LinkedIn. Look her up. Dareen and I connected. So if you don't know, I'll put the description all in the posting. We'll put Doreen's e-Arabization company website in the posting as well. If you need to reach out to e-Arabization, and I hope for the audience who are looking for Arabic connection of any sort to reach out to Doreen. Doreen will be great to help you out. Find out a little bit more about the culture, about the localization into that culture, about the translation into that culture, which is, I'm a native of Lebanon, I guess. I can say that very proudly. I want to make sure also for our audience to connect with us, like and share this content that I bring to you guys every week. My channel is not influenced or supported by anybody. This is a simple personal initiative that I created. Not that I need another responsibility, but here you go. And I hope everybody take the time to like and share this content. Doreen, uh, thank you so much on my behalf, on the behalf of the audience, for joining me today. And I look forward to speaking with you in the future. From me to the rest of
Thank you
us,
so much, Robert.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you a
Appreciate
lot.
it.